Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. And in today's video, we'll be talking about Venus in the 11th house. Let's go ahead and jump right into this. So before we start, you first want to understand what sign is Venus positioned in. Is Venus exalted in Pisces, debilitated in Virgo, or in its own sign of Taurus or Libra? This is very important to understand. Along with this, is Venus conjunct with any planets or receiving aspects from any planets? This will change how Venus will function within your natal chart. You also want to see which houses are ruled over by Taurus or Libra, along with is Venus compatible with your ascendant lord. It's also important to understand that Venus will mature at the age of 25. So this is a very pivotal moment in the functioning of Venus in your chart, along with when Venus returns back to its original location during a Venus return. The most important moment though is during a Venus Mahadasha. So if you have not seen my video on the Venus Mahadasha Bhuktis, I will leave a link for that above and down below in the description. So what does Venus represent? Venus is the planet of love, of relationships, of peace and harmony, of the arts, of entertainment, enjoyment. It is all the pleasures in life, all of the luxuries. Venus is also a signifactor of childbirth, and in a male's chart it represents the wife. So what does the 11th house represent? The 11th house is the house of our incoming gains because it sits second from the 10th house, representing the resources that we are gaining through our career. So the 11th house also deals with social networks because it is through our social networks that we get the support that is needed to increase our income. So you can see your professional circle through this 11th house. It also shows your friend circle, and it is all about events, gatherings, groups, organizations. Any kind of large circles of people is seen through this 11th house. It is a house of politics as well. The 11th house, though, is the last of the Kama houses, so it is the ultimate house of our desires. It is all about our greatest hopes and wishes in life. So the 11th house is where we see wish fulfillment. It is where we strive towards our ambitions and desires. And because of this, this is also the house that takes us away from liberation from this material world because it sits 12th from the 12th house of liberation. So the 11th house is all about the things that we seek to gain from life. So what happens then when Venus enters the 11th house? Well, this is a good house for Venus because Venus is all about the pleasures, the enjoyment of this material world. And the 11th house is where we gain those things. So when Venus comes into the 11th house, this is definitely going to help to bring opportunities and gains into your life. Venus here tends to give a larger social or network circle in this position. So this can bring a lot of support to you. Specifically, Venus represents females, so you may find that you are receiving a lot of opportunities and support through females in your social circle. Venus here definitely makes you someone who is very much group oriented. You are focused on the social aspects of life. So this can make you someone who's very popular, very well liked by others. Sometimes in a male's chart, Venus here can indicate that your wife can help you to increase your gains. Venus here is definitely a great position for any kind of business or career situation centered around the arts, around entertainment, dance, music, drama. Venus here is excellent also for any kind of feminine beauty products. Businesses that are centered around the Venus aspects of life can bring a great deal of success. Venus in the 11th house definitely makes you business oriented. So this is an excellent position for self-employment or for working in business partnership. Typically with this position, you like to meet new people. Again, this is a very social position for Venus. And you win others over with your diplomacy, which sometimes can give good success in politics, but you have to see the condition of Venus for that. It's also important that you're being very careful about your friend circle if Venus is afflicted in this 11th house. This can attract the wrong crowd, and you can find yourself in situations of jealousy, betrayal, manipulation sometimes. Venus here can also show that you can attract your spouse through your social circle, through social events, networking, gatherings, times. It can also sometimes be seen that you're attracting a spouse through your education because it sits directly opposite to the 5th house of the chart. Sometimes this is a position that is difficult for relationships, though. There can be a lot of hurdles and challenges in this position, but definitely as Venus looks at the 5th house, this is excellent for your relationship with children. This can definitely derive a lot of happiness through children. And typically Venus here, if it is unafflicted, is really good for childbirth as well. Venus can indicate daughters sometimes because, again, this is a feminine planet facing directly to the 5th house of children. If Venus is negatively placed in the chart, sometimes there can be situations of affairs, scandals, situations around relationships after marriage. So you want to be very careful in this area. Venus here also, if it is debilitated, can indicate making money through the wrong sources. So again, you want to be careful about any kind of scandals, anything underhanded with Venus in this house. And sometimes, again, this is going to come through friend circles. If Venus is badly placed in the chart, you can get wrapped up into difficult situations. So being very mindful about who you are connecting with, who you're interacting with, is very important. If Venus is badly placed in this 11th house, it also can sometimes indicate that although you can gain a lot of wealth, something can take place in your relationship or friend circle that can lead to the loss of gain. So again, very important that you're being mindful of the people who you're connecting with. But in general, Venus here is an excellent placement for wealth creation, for acquiring all of the gains that you seek in life. This is an excellent placement for business as well. So on the side of the material gains, this is an excellent position for Venus. You just want to be very cautious about your relationships and connections.